Today on the program, we are doing the second attempt at pressurized fermentation. I'm going to do this fest beer. This is some brewery, Hampton, Connecticut. Anyway, counterweight fest beer, and I'm going to use healthy, fresh yeast, and I have a nice looking starter, and I'm not going to depressurize it right before kegging time. We'll get to my thoughts on that later when the fermentation is wrapping up. Made this starter last night. It was having nice bubbles on there, but that's all already died down. We've got the Imperial Global Lager yeast, and we have 8.5 pounds pills, 2 pounds Vienna, 0.625 pounds Munich, and a tiny bit of acidulated malt, which may or may not be necessary. 0.36 ounces of this Magnum for bittering, and then at the 10 minutes left, this ounce of Hallertau. Basically, I'm about to scoop the wort into one of my pots, and I carry them out half by half. Otherwise, I don't really want to walk out there with 7 gallons of wort, and we're going to get it boiling. We have a little bit of snow on the ground, but I bet some of that will be melting today. It's going to be like 50. November 26th. Above average. And hopefully this beer will be above average. We're at the 10-minute mark. So we have our 10-minute addition. And here we go with those. And we will finish up the boil. I took the gravity sample upstairs, but the color is looking nice, fairly light with just a light touch of a golden color. It looks like I got about 5.25 gallons before adding the yeast starter, so a little bit over, but the gravity was coming in right about where I want, and it looks like it's 57 or something right now, so I chilled it down pretty well. But I'm going to bring it up to the upstairs where it's like the mid-60s, because that is what you do with the pressurized fermentation, and I am much more hopeful about this round. I am positive that this yeast is gonna get this thing off to a much better start than the Helles, which that video should be out right now, even though I haven't yet done the tasting notes for that because I'm just waiting for it to get as clear as possible. But we're gonna button this up and hopefully it'll be fermenting soon. So here we are the next morning, and I could have done some footage last night actually, because last night it already had a very thin layer of bubbles on top and had a couple PSI, but we're coming in pretty good right now. This 61 Fahrenheit will warm up a little bit. The house gets cooler overnight, so you know that's why it's that. Let's see if I can get a shot of this. So it's up to about coming up on 15. I think that's about where I have it set, I guess. I haven't done this enough to know if it matters if it's at 12, 13, 14, 15. So just somewhere in that range I think is fine. But last night it was already up to between 2 and 3 PSI. So it already had started last night. But yeah, so far this is off to a good start. A fast start with this healthy yeast. I haven't figured out how to get this regulator facing you know, forwards instead of facing down. I thought about putting some tape on the disconnect post and then screwing the thing on and then seeing where it ended up, but who knows, then it could end up facing, you know, the other way, but I didn't try that, and we'll see if anyone else has an idea on that. I haven't posted my first video where I ask about that, but so far this thing is off to a good start. Alright, an update on this beer. It is now Thursday. I brewed it on Saturday. I would say it started fermenting on Saturday night, and I would say it was basically done by Tuesday. I've had it upstairs until this morning. As you can see, there's no krausen, and actually it's starting to kind of get clear. Now it's down to 54, but that's just because I brought it downstairs. It was like low 60s. The other thing I've done, oh, hold on, let's see here, is I've been lowering the pressure. So my goal is eventually, I guess, to kind of just get it down to 0 before I'm going to try to keg it. So what I'm doing, I'm probably screwing up the view actually now that I think about it. Is that what I'm doing? Yeah, I probably did. So basically it's down to what? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little over 5, I guess, right now. So what I've been doing is going like this. So I'm lowering the amount of pressure that I am requiring it to have. And then, oh, I can smell. And then it, is it, yeah, so already actually it's dropping below 5. I think it's down to like 3.5. So basically, what I'm not doing, if you recall, I think I shot some video of my first one when I pulled this guy here, this relief valve, and it had the full 15 built up. The entire yeast cake that was down in the bottom got agitated through this whole thing. So basically, oh, actually, now look, some bubbles did form. But see, that's fine, because I'm just doing it slowly, and I don't even plan on kegging it for a handful of days still. Anyway, that is my learning process improvement attempt to decrease the pressure and then be able to take this whole cap off, because like I said, I'm not doing the pressurized closed transfer yet. Maybe I would try that, but yeah, hopefully this will work better. So far this has gone much better than the first time. It started off fast fermentation, fast and complete. Then what I've done, as you can see, well, maybe you can't, but this has been backed out all the way to the left to say don't keep any pressure in there. And so there's no pressure in there. So I will be able to take off this cap without agitating everything. And as you can also see, it's done fermenting. I took a reading. It was about 1.008, maybe 7. But yeah, so I'll be able to unscrew this cap, and it'll just be like taking a bung out of a carboy. It'll just be, everything will just be, you know, settled. So that's good. And I'm gonna try to wash this yeast as well. But yeah, so 2 big improvements. The beer sample tasted great, and have good hope for this one. So I might have figured out this gauge position problem. One of you suggested a gasket, and the Anvil people suggested a flanged gasket, but these are flat. This is all Menards had. I bought 4. I only used 1. They're a 1/4 inch, and I put it inside of the spunding valve because it seals in here and the back of it. And then when I screwed it on, this is where it was. So I guess it stopped it from going another 3/4 all the way around this way and facing down. So yeah, I mean, this is much easier to read, and I believe it works because I still have some pressure in here, and if I go like this, you can hear that the pressure's coming out. The reason I have it so low right now is because it's done fermenting. It's been done fermenting for a couple of several days. Actually, now I see that some bubbles kicked up because I was releasing some pressure. But then what I'll do is let it sit and release all the pressure, and then keg it off. That's what I actually, this is my third pressurized ferment beer, but I'm going to include this video in the video for the second beer, which is the Fest beer. But that does seem to be a possible workaround to get this to a better position. So I don't know what the viewing ability is right here, right now with this, but this beer took a while, but it got clear. And it is ready for review.
Merry Festmas!
Yeah.
Belated.
Festivus? It's kind of a Festivus scene here. So the details of this one, it ended at 1.008. It began at 10:57 for a result of 6.4% alcohol. And a quick reminder, 8.5 pounds pills, 2 pounds of Vienna, 0.625 pounds Munich, a little bit of acidulated. Now, one thing that we were talking about is the Vienna malt, I always thought as closer to a Munich base malt as far as the amount of sweetness that it might contribute. But you were saying that discussions you've had and people that have brewed with Vienna think that it's more, that it's less sweet.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's base
Munich
malt, but it's more base maltish, where I feel like Munich is a little getting into specialty malt. They're both actually, I think, considered base malts.
Munich is, I think.
Right, but the point is, like, Munich starts leaning a little crystal, I don't know, 10, 15, 20, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
But Vienna can be 100% of your grist, depending what beer you're making, and still not come off like super bready, toasty, sweet.
So this is my second pressurized fermentation. Everything went so much better.
Boom!
You probably saw the footage. The yeast started fermenting right away. That was a huge bonus. This was a fresh purchase of yeast made with the starter. Started fermenting very quickly. And when I wanted to keg it, I depressurized it over a period of days. When I took the cap off, all the troop and then everything stayed where it should. I kegged the beer, racked it off, and I washed this yeast. And then I used the washed yeast to make the cold IPA and the Smash Triumph pills.
So you rack it out of this Chubby with a siphon.
I do.
Okay.
Which is probably not how most people would do it. I still am getting my head around the idea of doing a closed pressure transfer.
Does it have like a bottom out?
It has a floaty pickup, liquid pickup thing with a silicone type tube. So
Right.
it would pick it up from the top, and then it would go down. And actually, you could even use that in the keg. Actually,
Yeah,
probably
cool.
thought about it instead of using the long post. But at any rate, this beer, like, gosh, so much better than the Helles. So much like, well, the Helles took 2 months to get to a point where it was at least like, oh wow,
Seemed
it's not
lagery.
terrible.
Yeah.
But this beer is about 5 weeks or so old now.
Malty. We've talked. I would like it a little more bitter, but it's not to a fault. It's malty in a very less than Oktoberfesty kind of way.
Right.
It's clean, crisp, clear as a bell for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever made a fest beer. I know I'd have to tell my son to keep it down. I have made Oktoberfest, pretty sure about that. But this is apparently the beer that would maybe be more consumed at actual Oktoberfest events. And I think I could see adding this into my repertoire. I don't know about this counterweight brewery. I don't know, like, this was a recipe that was either provided by them or someone came up with it to clone their award-winning fest beer, but it's not like that complicated. It's pills and Vienna and Munich, and yeah, there you go. I'm very happy with it. You know, as we're discussing, is this the same beer as if you fermented it with no pressure and cold? I don't know. The current lager I'm making, I am doing cold with no pressure as kind of a experiment to see if I think that, like, if I drink that beer, I'm like, oh my god, this is so much better than the fest beer and the cold IPA, and the, you know, then I don't know, maybe there's something to it, but it's also not like an actual experiment.
No, it's just cold. There's icicles.
Yeah.
And
we're on the porch, we got the lights, we were outside earlier. We got a lot of snow around here, people.
it's a lot of snow.
But yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with... So basically, I mean, this beer fermented, maybe it's in the videos, but I think most of these beers have been like mid-60s, mid to lower to upper 60s, which is a little higher than a normal lager, but to get this kind of a result,
Yeah.
you know, is awesome. Like, it's
only, I
not
would
bad
say
at
it's
all.
only slightly more kind of estery, but not in a bad way. It's just,
Yeah, I
it
don't
might
even
just
know.
be a little bit more,
I don't even know if I would
you wouldn't identify it.
say that. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if I would taste it. It does not have noticeable off flavors, which,
No.
as you might know, people
the
have
thing.
fermented these lagers warm without pressure, and then they get them done and they realize, oh, this tastes fine.
They're still also, yeah. I think
It's a brave new
lager
world.
yeast are these things in the coming year that people are going to be like, oh, I can use this in other ways that
Anytime.
they told me I needed to do.
Yeah. No, this beer is gonna be a nice quaffer.
Happy January Fest,
Yeah, January Fest.
Capricorn Fest.
I don't know about no Capricorn.
I'm a Capricorn,
Oh, alright then.
so you don't know when my birthday is. We've established that. I know when yours is.
I also don't give a
It's
shit.
a day after Dawson's birthday, which we won't put either of them out there right now.
That's right.
Because Don doesn't need that deluge of mail.
Right, I don't need all those free presents that I would get. Alright, well, that'll probably wrap it up. Maybe I'll do a quick pan survey of the area here. Let's see.
Dude, it's
Look
worth
out
it.
the
That's
front.
some- I
Yeah.
feel like that's what our fans want to see.
Yeah. Pretty, but kind of debilitating. I did go for a bike ride today, though. Believe it or not. Alright, thanks for watching. Catch you later.